focus on delegates buying during party primaries, not only elections, INEC tells civil society organizations. That is it. So I understand where Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, is talking from. Said every time people are focusing on INEC, how INEC is conducting elections, but people are not looking at how party primaries are done and how delegates are being bought over. So what is the problem with delegates? In the first place, the delegates thing is a party affair. Okay, however, they try to secure their support among themselves as party members. That is their business. But when it comes to the Nigerian populace, that is where the main election comes in, and that is where all the citizens will be at alert watching how you are doing it. So you can't tell them where to focus and where not to focus. That is the truth. So the Independent National Electoral Commission has advised the members of civil society organizations to focus their advocacy on cases of delegates buying during the primaries of political parties in the country. So the Independent National Electoral Commission has advised the members of civil society organizations to focus their advocacy on cases of delegates buying during the primaries of political parties in the country. Can you imagine? So Chairman INEC Mahmoud Yakubu gave the advice at the first quarterly consultative meeting with CSOs for the year 2025 held in Abuja. So it is time to cast your net wide by focusing on the incidence of delegates buying by aspirants during primaries. Some delegates openly boasted of how much money they made from aspirants during the party primaries, Mr. Mohammed says on Tuesday. So he added, you should intensify your advocacy in support of the practical steps taken by the relevant security and law enforcement agents to tackle this diabolical practice. So it is time to cast your net wide by focusing on the incidence of delegates buying. That's what he said. So Mr. Yakubu, who stressed the need to curb vote buying during elections, also noted that delegates of political parties had openly spoken about financial inducements, mostly during the nomination process. So he explained that the issue required greater action in curbing the menace among politicians, gradually affecting the nation's electoral value system. So he stated, I would like to urge civil society organizations to be as interested in party primaries as they are actively engaged in the monitoring of secondary elections continually by INEC. So after all, only the candidates nominated by the political parties are placed on the ballot paper for citizens to vote for on election day. So recall that a former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, disclosed how some delegates were allegedly induced with money to vote at the presidential primaries of the All Progressive Congress APC in June 2022. Mr. Amechi had in a video footage alleged that some delegates collected money during the primaries ostensibly to solve their immediate problems, noting that those who collected money to vote must have been regretting their actions. God should save the ordinary Nigerians because they are the problem. Who are those who voted at the APC primary? The ordinary Nigerians. The small money they got solved their immediate problems. He spoke at an event in Port Harcourt. So the former governor was runner-up in the APC presidential primaries, polling 316 votes to come a distant second to incumbent President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who got 1,271 votes altogether. So analysts have also raised concerns about two primaries of political parties in the country were dogged by reports of vote buying by desperate politicians to attract delegates. Now, wow. So what Mahmoud Yakubu is saying now is that all this Nigerian shouting is not only INEC conducting general elections to shout for, also shout for party leadership for how they do their delegate conferencing and who are the conference members. This is very, very terrible, I'm telling you. Nigerians, I don't know where we are going with vote buying in Nigeria. We remember when the delegates, when the parties were doing primaries in 2022, we saw how some of them were rich. So they started calling delegates honorable. Most delegates are now known as honorable delegates because of money that they are paid during the delegate conference, where that is where they seal their candidacy in their individual parties. Then their parties recognize them and then move their name to INEC for the general election. Because primaries are internal thing, so you cannot tell the whole public. Let a party feed their own candidate, and then when all the parties would have fielded their own candidates, we cannot decide who to support and who not to support. That is the way I see it. But saying that everybody should focus on delegates buying is not enough. The one that is causing problem in Nigeria is the general election that is being rigged by the state actors. That one is a bad one. Very bad, I must tell you the truth. Very bad, I must tell you the truth. But the question is, Mahmoud Yakubu just want to distract attention from him, because the truth is that the delegate conference they are doing is an internal thing. It's not a general election. So card carrying members of the party are the ones responsible for their delegate conference. So you cannot restrict them, you cannot tell them how to do it, because first of all, it is internal within the political parties, it is not external. That's okay. So that is exactly what is happening now that, now that Nigerians are now buying, delegates are being bought. Mahmoud Yakubu is saying it now, and I'm sure and I'm not expecting anybody to come and tell him, come and show us proof. We really have to watch out for that. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment.